In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the wiper motor on this Toyota Camry. It sits right underneath the cowl, so we'll have to remove that. So let's get started. To remove this cowl, we have to remove the wiper arms. And to get these wiper arms off, you'll see a 14mm mounting nut on each of the arms. Remove it. They should not be very tight. And with that off, you should be able to grab the wiper arm, wiggle it back and forth, maybe just a little bit, and then it should want to pop right off of the wiper transmission. Sometimes closing the hood can help because you can lift this up like that and grab it. Do the same to the other wiper arm. Now you can lift up on the cowl and slide it forward and out of the way. Unplug the electrical connector. On each end of the wiper transmission, you'll see a 10mm bolt. Remove it. This will allow you to remove your wiper transmission with the motor. Slide it towards the passenger side so it can come out of this grommet and right up and out. With this on the workbench, we can see two T30 bolts. Let's remove both of these. Two mounting nuts from the backside fell off. Save all of this hardware. Take the bolt out. And then we're going to flip this over. At this point, you want to try and move this as little as possible so you can keep it in the same orientation so that when you put your new motor on, it's not clocked wrong and the wipers will still work properly. So I remember that this arm with this piece here were basically parallel on top of each other, and then as long as you don't move the rest of it, as soon as you line the motor up back like that, it should line up perfectly. Now let's grab a 12mm socket and remove this mounting nut here. If you have an impact to do this, that would be the best because otherwise you'll be fighting the pressure of this mounting nut. There we go. It is somewhat tight. They do usually have either a locking nut or thread locker on those threads. Now we have to separate this. So to do that, I'm going to grab a rubber mallet, hold this up, and tap the stud. There we go. And here is your wiper motor. Now take your new wiper motor, and the way I like to line these up is obviously the transmission, the wiper transmission has not moved. I'm going to put it back on here just temporarily, and I'm going to hold it like that. Then I'm going to put this arm back on, and it's going to have some splines that it's going to line up with. Then I'm going to hold this into its splines, let go of where it bolts onto here, continue holding this, put the mounting nut on because the splines are now locked in, and I'm trying to line up those splines. If they're not lined up, it will not be in sync, and well, you're going to have some wipers that go the wrong way. Once you put this nut on, snug it up. If you're doing this by hand, the motor will have a tendency to spin, so if you have an impact, that would be the best. If not, you're just going to have to basically crank it down, and then before you actually put the wiper arms on, activate the wiper motor, and that'll reseat it in its park position. Now that this is tight, let's put the wiper motor back onto the wiper transmission over here. At this point, everything is still lined up, so that's perfect. The mounting nuts slide in from the backside. You have to get them just right, otherwise they won't slide in. Without moving it so that the mounting nuts don't fall out, you're going to want to put the bolts in from the top. Just start threading them on. It should catch. There we go. All right, so now you can tilt it down and use whatever tool you need to use to tighten these up fully. Perfect, just a quick tap with the impact, or just about 1/8 of a turn by hand should do it. Let's put this back in the vehicle. Now take your wiper transmission with the motor, seat it back down into the area that it needs to be in, and make sure that this grommet here slides into its spot, just like so. The bolt holes should line up. Start this bolt in and snug it up. And snug this one up as well. Plug in the electrical connector, make sure it clicks. Get the cowl back on here. Make sure it's sitting flush. When you put your wiper arms down, make sure that they're actually sitting where they're supposed to. Either follow the marks that are already on your windshield. Usually it leaves marks where dirt builds up, or you can basically just estimate it. They should be at the bottom of the windshield. Once you're sure of its position, press it down, just like that. Make sure it's seated into its splines there. Put the mounting nut on and snug it up. Get the other wiper arm installed the same exact way. Put the nut on, and once you're sure of its position, snug it up. There we go. Now if you want, you can test them out, and there you have it.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.